Welcome to Big Ten Saturday Night, presented by Discover. As anticipated, a matchup you're going to find across the country. 3-0 and number 3 Penn State, 4-0 and number 6 Oregon. It's the whiteout in State College, and the Nittany Lions are ready to rock here at home in front of their fans. James Franklin leading his team, looking for a big win over a top 10 opponent. Pom-poms in the air, Dante Moore in Oregon, ready to spoil it. But here come the Nittany Lions. This rematch from the Big Ten championship game just a short time ago, 294 days since these two teams played last. And Penn State out here off of a bye week, 3-0 record, trying to go out there and do what they've failed to do the last couple of years under James Franklin, with that man under center. Drew Aller trying to win a big game against a top 10 opponent.
Well, this team right here is going to embrace the challenge of this crowd, this energy, and try to put their best foot forward. It should be a heck of a battle between two top-notch teams.
Dan Lanning loves these atmospheres. You can see the smile. Let's go to KT.
Coach, you've said this is the best atmosphere in college football. How can you use all this energy to your advantage tonight?
Yeah, it's going to take all of us. Really talented team. Got a ton of respect for them. But this is why you come to Penn State for nights like this.
The noise level will be at its highest when your defense is on the field. So what do they need to do to communicate effectively?
Yeah, our defense relies on communication with the safeties and linebackers. So that's going to be critical. We worked on it all week long, but this is hard to recreate.
And finally, what do you expect from your quarterback, Drew Aller, on this stage tonight?
He's going to play with an edge. He's going to play with an edge.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Simple words, simple execution, and we'll see if the third-year starter can get it done. He's going up against that man, Dante Moore, for this Oregon offense that is littered with talent. Not necessarily the same as what we saw last year, but they have ability at every position.
Yeah, I love the tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. He's very similar to the guy Penn State had last year in Tyler Moore, and they will use him in a lot of different ways. Up front, I think this offensive line is better than they were a year ago. It starts with their center, Poncho, number 72. He's a returning starter, the only returning starter, and really is a critical piece of the leadership team. On defense for Penn State, lots of talent up front. Denied Dennis Sutton, a great edge rusher, but I really like Zane Durant, number 28 on the inside, a real disruptive force inside. And then in the back end, A.J. Harris, number 4, is an elite cornerback. He's only been challenged one time, has not had a chance to make plays. I think Oregon will try to attack him some tonight, though.
This Penn State offense, again, led by the veteran signal caller Drew Aller.
Yeah, again, an offense that I think really relies on their running game. Their offensive line and running game, Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, both over 100 yards when these two teams met in December. And then up front, their center also, Nick Dawkins, returning starter, great leader, charismatic guy, and a good friend of his quarterback, Drew Aller. And then defensively for the Oregon Ducks, their two edge guys, Uiagalelei, number 10, and Tuioti, number 44, are excellent, and Bryce Betcher, the middle linebacker, a hitting machine. All new secondary, all new starters. Dylan Thieneman, a transfer from Purdue at safety, is one of their outstanding leaders, one of their leading tacklers so far in the 25 season.
Well, Penn State won the toss. They have elected to defer. We will see Dante Moore in this offense first. And if you think about the great moments in whiteout history, of course you think about 2019. Michigan and Shea Patterson running out, having to call a timeout before they snap the ball for the first time. We're going to see how this young man handles this atmosphere right off the rip.
Well, and like James Franklin said, you can't replicate this. You can pump in crowd noise. You can walk around campus with a headset with noise, but it still is not the same as this. And so for Dante Moore, it's getting the plays called in the huddle. How do you get the count called at the line of scrimmage? What kind of silent count operation do you have? And try to neutralize the crowd the best way you can.
We will hear the song Mo Bamba out of this kick. Noah Whittington missed the last 2 games. He is back and ready to start us out as Wosu will send it deep. Dan Lanning said, based on how this game goes, that song might become his favorite song after tonight. We're going to find out very quickly. Penn State and Oregon, the 18th full stadium whiteout here in State College. We are all set for action. Wosu will send us into the night. Touchback from the 25. Handoff, first down. Whittington slips through across the 30 and gains 7 yards. And more than anything, they get off that first snap clean.
Yep. Clean operation. Dante Moore playing at a very high level in his first year as the starter. Really benefited from sitting behind Dylan Gabriel a year ago and has played beautifully so far this season.
2 backs will split out wide on 2nd down and 4. Moore to throw. To the outside, Whittington makes the catch. It's 3rd and 1.
And right away, they went after A.J. Harris. And nobody has thrown at him in the first 3 games. And the second play of the game, they just send a message. We're going to throw this out because they're going to try to get him to bite on double moves before this game gets too far in. They respect him, but they also know he's a guy that's going to want to make plays.
Here's where the noise can be a real factor. 3rd down in your own territory.
This is a big offensive line that runs the football extremely well this season. Power backfield right now on 3rd and 1.
It's Davison, the freshman, and he's got the first down.
Jordan Davison, one of 2 true freshmen we'll see carrying the ball. Here he is. It's kind of like a little inside fullback run. He's 6 foot, 235 pounds. He doesn't have a run over 10 yards this year, but he has 6 touchdown runs. He's been a very valuable asset to this Oregon run game.
See the numbers courtesy of PFF. 9 for 9 on all conversions of 2 yards or less. A power back, 6 foot, 236. Fresh set of downs with Jade Lamar in the backfield.
Real tight splits by this Oregon offensive line.
Play action. Had to get away from Dennis Sutton. Dumps it off. Nice catch. And there is Sadiq getting over the top. We saw a hurdle for a touchdown in the Big Ten championship game. This time it just gained 6 yards.
Yeah, he had 2 catches, both for touchdowns against Penn State. Here he is right here. Watch him. Dante Moore's got to get his head around quick. Sutton is right there in his face, and he flips the ball out. And a nice first throw or second throw of the game for Dante Moore.
2 easy ones for the redshirt sophomore, who's completing 75% of his passes this season, 4th in the country. 2nd down and 4. Delayed handoff for Lamar. Bounces off. And another 3rd and short opportunity for this Oregon offense.
Yeah, this is 3rd and manageable. Now, Penn State's defense has been very good so far under Jim Knowles. Has not been great on 3rd down. Opponents have converted almost 35%. And when you consider their 3 opponents were kind of inferior opponents, and already another 3rd and short situation for the Ducks. The strength of this Oregon offensive line is the center and the 2 guards. That's where they're most powerful inside.
Whittington the back on 3rd and 1. Whittington up the middle, didn't look like he got it. It's going to depend on the spot. That initial surge was closed up by Amari Campbell, and a decision potentially for Dan Campbell, or excuse me, think about Dan Campbell and how he likes to call the game. Dan Lanning, who is similar on 4th down in his willingness to go for it.
Well, that was a beautiful play by Amari Campbell, who slipped inside the block of Alex Harkey, the right tackle. Brings up this 4th down situation. A lot of room for a quarterback sneak here.
Looked like nearly a jump.
There was. They got it.
It's the first one from this crowd.
Looked like the backup tight end, Jamari Johnson, number 9, kind of flinched in his stance.
Ron Snodgrass.
False start. Offense in the 35. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So, what looked like a productive opening drive for Dante Moore and this Oregon offense gets stalled. Devontae Ross is back to return this punt from James Ferguson Reynolds, who did have a 21-yard fake punt last week in the win over Oregon State. And we'll see what he can do, trying to pin Penn State back as deep as he can. Boise State transfer gets a wobbler off. And some room to work with. Ross can fly, not this time. Taken down immediately at the 16-yard line, officially down at the 15. So, Penn State's offense, first opportunity next. It has been loud for Big Ten Saturday night here at Penn State. Number 3 Nittany Lions offense on the field for the first time, led by Drew Aller, who said playing a whiteout, it's like running out on cloud 9. But then it's just football. Time for him to play some.
Yeah, again, this guy, incredibly, throughout his career, 57 career touchdown passes, only 11 interceptions. That's outstanding for a quarterback, and trying to play his best in a big game. But Oregon knows Penn State is going to challenge them and see if they can stop the run, because they weren't able to do it when they met in the Big Ten championship game.
Jet sweep goes to Pena. The transfer from Syracuse tries to wiggle free and gains 3. Kennedy comes up to make the play.
Pretty nice job by the freshman cornerback Brandon Finney, number 4, who kind of held an edge and forced that ball outside. This Oregon defense completely new in the back end, and their starting corners are a redshirt freshman and a true freshman, Brandon Finney out of Owings Mill, Maryland.
It's Katron Allen, the first running back out there over these first 2 plays. They put the talented tight end Reynolds in motion. We know that Andy Kotelnicki, offensive coordinator, is as creative as it gets with his shifts and his motions. Direct snap goes to Allen, and he gets swallowed up. Maybe gains a yard. Uyunglele and Tuioti were in the area. So second year under Andy Kotelnicki, and a lot of the discussion leading into this game is maybe he's been holding back through the first 3 games. It hasn't looked quite the same as what we saw last year.
Well, you would expect that, right? I mean, they had 3 games against teams they were expected to win easily against. Then they had a bye week, and now they're preparing for Oregon, and this is a team that they respect. And like I said, last year they ran for 297 yards against them, and both Allen and Singleton over 100, and the quarterback, Drew Aller, had over 50 yards rushing. The passing situation here on their first 3rd down play.
3rd and 5. Aller's first pass of the day. Knocked down. Devin Jackson looked like he might have got a hand on it up the middle. And it's a 3 and out forced by this Oregon defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who got it. I think it might have been Mateo. Watch number 10, see if Mateo doesn't get a piece of this. He's trying to get it to his tight end, Luke Reynolds, and the ball is knocked down. And it would have been a first down, but Mateo, with a nice job, knows he can't get to the quarterback, do the next best thing, get up and knock the pass down.
So Wosu will have to boot it away. And we'll see where Gary Bryant gets under it. At the 25, he's going to try to return it. Bryant tripped up from behind. Nice play down the field. Penn State perfect there on the coverage. Elliott Washington, the second, forces just an 8-yard return, and it brings out Dante Moore. James Franklin told us how impressed he was with Moore's journey. He committed to Oregon initially, and then Kenny Dillingham left to go to Arizona State, so he flipped his commitment to UCLA in December of 2022. Started 5 games as a true freshman, and he talked about it. He was young, far from home. It was a lot of stress for a guy at his age. So he transfers to Oregon, and this is what Franklin was impressed with. This guy could have gone anywhere. 5-star recruit, could have started at a number of places, decided to back up Dylan Gabriel last year, and now he looks like a veteran with poise out there for Oregon. This drive will start from the 32. Moore with time, lost it, sideline, and it looked like out of bounds. Incomplete, looking for DeCorian Moore, who is as talented a freshman as we're going to see in the country.
Yeah, but that was really well played by Elliott Washington, the second, number 9. Watch Washington just pushes him to the sideline. And DeCorian Moore just kind of allows himself to be covered, runs himself out of bounds. And that's excellent work by Washington on the outside. So far, what Oregon is doing with the snap count, the right guard is looking back at the quarterback. When he lifts his leg, he taps the center, and then they've got some rhythm after that.
Hand it, Whittington shakes free. Whittington stays on his feet, and then he gets decked down at the 38.
Whittington with fresh legs. I mean, he did not play the last 2 weeks. Had a good start to the season. He could have played last week, but they held him out. But here's just good second effort. A hard guy to tackle, and gives him another manageable third down situation here on the road. Jim Knowles likes to bring creative blitzes on third down, but when you could still run the football 3rd and 5 or less, you have to be a little bit less risky.
Dennis Sutton and Durant can be game records. 3rd and 4. It is Whittington up the middle, and he gets swallowed up. Xavier Gilliam had him there. And again, similar type of position here, 4th and short for Dan Lanning. And right now, the offense doesn't look like they're moving.
Again, remember Dante Moore now is 6'3", 206 pounds. He's a pretty good runner.
Some level of confusion.
Yeah.
They false started on the previous 4th and short.
Play clock is under 10. They may want to call timeout here. Make sure they get this lined up correctly.
They get it off. Moore will run. Moore's going to get it. Gutsy call and a gutsy dive forward for the quarterback.
Barely got the snap off. I mean, that play clock was at 1 second when the ball was snapped. Design quarterback run with a lead blocker in Whittington. And a new set of downs. 2 tight ends, 12 personnel. Really nice block by the right guard, Dave Iuli, number 74. And a first down run for Dante Moore.
From under center, fake it to Whittington. Rojas got in there. Now it's Dennis Sutton in pursuit. And Moore just got rid of it in time in the direction of Sadiq.
Yeah, you mentioned Rojas. He just overpowered Noah Whittington. Whittington kind of got off balance, and Rojas is going to just kind of knock him back. And watch Whittington kind of get out of position on the blitz pickup, and that forces Dante Moore to get out of the pocket. And then the extra effort by Dennis Sutton. He's about 10 pounds less than he was a year ago, and I just think his motor and his speed is more impressive this year with the less poundage on that frame.
Moore on 2nd and 10. Quick throw, knocked around. Oh, it's caught on the carom. DeCorian Moore kept his eyes on the football and gets positive yardage.
Yeah, when this ball popped up, I thought for sure A.J. Harris was going to get the pick. It went right through Harris's hands. Obviously surprised that Moore didn't make the catch, and somehow DeCorian Moore comes down with the completion. But another 3rd down and short for this Duck offense. Again, you've got runner pass options here at this 3rd down distance.
Moore on 3rd and 2. With his legs again, picks it up again.
And another design quarterback run. The way you know that is the running back, Jaden Lamar, number 27, immediately went as a lead blocker. Watch 27. This is not a scramble. He's going right now to lead the way for his quarterback. Quarterback draw to the left. Lamar gets a nice block and an easy pickup for the first down by the quarterback. His second running conversion of the first quarter.
Penn State said they were planning on keying in on Kenyon Sadiq, who had the 2 touchdowns in the Big Ten championship game against the Nittany Lions. They put him in motion. Here's his first touch. Making his second catch of the day as Sadiq gets dropped in the backfield by Amari Campbell.
Yeah, they were clued into him that time. They tried to put him in a different position. That was actually a lateral. Had Sadiq not caught the ball, it would have been a live football. But their offensive coordinator, Will Stein, told me this week he studied Andy Kotelnicki and what he did with Tyler Warren last year. He studied Todd Monken and what he did with Brock Bowers at Georgia, because he has a versatile guy in Sadiq that can play a lot of different positions and do a lot of things for his offense.
Spread them out with 2 running backs. Moore, quick, freshman, Hill, spinning, just down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 4 against this Jim Knowles defense. Came over from Ohio State, and what he said he was tasked in doing is taking this defense from great to elite.
Yeah, this is a defense that was primarily a man coverage team the last 2 years under Tom Allen and also Manny Diaz before that. They play a little bit more zone. They do a few different things. They have more answers against higher caliber teams, of which Oregon obviously is.
3rd and 6. It's Hill again. And Hill is going to keep the legs churning to the 37-yard line. And now again, a 4th and short for Dan Lanning in this offense. And again, it doesn't look like they're in any rush to get off the field.
Now this one I think is more dictated by field position, because this is a longer distance now. This may need to be a throw or give the quarterback Dante Moore a run pass option, because this is 4th and a legitimate 3 yards. Keep your eye on Sutton right here, number 33. He's the disruptor.
Moore gets away. Moore spins. He's short. Penn State with a stand. Amari Campbell read it the whole way.
He's short, and he took a pretty good shot at the end of that play. He was trying to dive forward to hit the mark. But Amari Campbell is going to step up and deny the first down. Right there at the spot. Big hit by Campbell.
Well, James Franklin, the storyline coming into this game has been the difference versus opponents outside the top 10, 122 with a wide margin of victory. But against top 10 opponents, 4-20 overall, 1-7 at home. The point differential speaks for itself. Another opportunity here tonight. It's the first whiteout versus a top 10 team since Ohio State 2018. It's also the last time Penn State lost a whiteout game against number 4 OSU. A pretty good start for his defense, and now his offense needs to follow suit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them let Drew take a shot down the field here early in this possession. Try to stretch out this Oregon defense a little bit.
They put Ross in motion. Play action here is Aller. Trying to set up the screen back to Ross. They get it to him, but he is surrounded. A major loss on first down.
Beautiful play by Amari Washington, number 52. He's the defensive lineman who read the screen. Watch number 52. He's going to read the screen and get out there and force Drew Aller to throw the ball over his head. And when that happens, it busts up the timing of this throw. It allows everybody to get there, and it's a negative play for this Oregon defense. Amari Washington, they think, has the ability to be drafted on the first round of the NFL. They had 3 guys on their defensive line went in the first 3 rounds of the draft from last year's team.
Singleton first carry tonight, and he tries to push the pile forward, gets back to the 30. And it is going to be 3rd and forever here for Penn State. Well, Drew Aller, we talked about it heading into the game. Similar type of struggles against top teams. Against top 6 teams as a starter, 0-5. You look at the completion percentage and more specifically, the touchdown to interception ratio. Meanwhile, we've got a man down on the field, and it is Anthony Donko, the right guard for the Nittany Lions. We'll be back.
Starting 0 Todd.
All right, John, that is exciting stuff going on around the country. Exciting matchup here and a 3rd and 16 for Penn State. Put Pena in motion. It's Aller to throw the deep drop. Steps up. Aller on the run. Gets rid of it in time. Singleton is going to fight, but he's just a yard or two short.
Yeah, great effort by Singleton. We've seen Dan Lanning go for it. It looks like Penn State's going to go for it as well, bringing in an extra offensive lineman now. Now they're already down one starter. TJ Shanahan, number 54, is in at right guard. Cooper Cousins, number 50, is now in as the extra offensive lineman on this 4th and 1 play.
Penn State 5 for 8 on 4th down this season. It's Singleton pushing for the first down.
Nice surge. They love to do this. They love to get in the huddle on short yardage, come out and snap it right away. Try to get that defense not ready. Good push and then good second effort. Now again, right around midfield, Noah. Great opportunity, play action and try to stretch this Oregon defense. You went out and you got these 3 new receivers in the portal. Let's see if one of them can take the top off the defense here.
Ross is the speedster. Pena a little bit of a combination. Hudson, the contested catch guy, number 1. There is Ross, the motion man. First down of the game for Penn State. Singleton looking to take advantage, gets to midfield.
This is the number 1 run play in the Penn State offense. It's the outside zone. This offensive line is very athletic. They can really run, and now we see some tempo from this Nittany line offense.
2nd down and 6. Right back to Singleton. This time he's wrapped up in the backfield. Mateo Uiagalelei makes the play and loses 2.
This is the difference in Uiagalelei's game this year, is how he plays against the run. He wasn't even set, but he still does a nice job of fighting off a block and getting there to make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Time for our Nissan big shots. We just saw Uiagalelei make a play, and on the other side, denied Dennis Sutton. 2 of the best edge rushers in all of college football on display on the same field tonight.
Last year in the Big Ten championship game, it was offensive fireworks between these 2 teams. 45-37, Oregon won. Through 1 quarter, 0-0. Throwback, Big Ten, big boy football in State College on NBC. Coverage brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Scoreless through 1. Whiteout game between the top 6 opponent here in State College. No Eagle, Todd Blackledge. We expected a heavyweight fight. It's feeling like it so far.
Yeah, I mean, both defenses are really slugging it out right now, coming up with stops in critical situations. Big 3rd and 8 right now for Penn State. And this has been an area through the first 3 games they have not been particularly efficient. Haven't been good on 3rd downs. Red zone touchdowns or creating explosive plays. Big 3rd down play right here.
We've had a topsy-turvy start to this game. Let's check in with KT with an update.
Well, the good news is that right guard Anthony Donko went into the medical tent for about 5.5 minutes and was being worked on there. He came out, he put his helmet on, he was testing things out on the sideline with his trainer, and he's now back in the huddle with the offensive line. Of note, he did have season-ending injury on a right leg last year, so we'll keep an eye on that, guys, as we progress.
All right, KT, thanks so much.
Well, the good news for Penn State, you saw a little bit of the depth that they have in that offensive line. A couple of backups were in on that 4th down play where they converted for the first down, so that's a good sign. They feel like their offensive line is the best that they've had in the time that James Franklin has been here.
Singleton has been the workhorse so far on this drive. Had the 4th down conversion. He's got 5 straight touches for the Nittany Lions.
Also very good out of the backfield, catching the football. And get him matched up on a linebacker. That's a winning combination.
Aller just 3 pass attempts so far. Aller, time ran out quickly. Now he's going to try to use his legs on the run. He's got it. And guess who? On cue, Singleton, first down.
Well, this is a scramble route, and watch, he's going to come out, and Betcher's got him covered. But because the scramble, Singleton kind of finds an opening and gets the first down.
Right back to him up the middle, and Singleton will plunge forward to the 35.
Quick snap count and also an unbalanced look by this Penn State offensive line. Again, Andy Kotelnicki will throw a lot of different looks at you defensively. And they like to use tempo. And when we talked to Bryce Betcher, he said the biggest key, and what we didn't do well in the Big Ten Championship, on a lot of the explosive runs we gave up, we just didn't get our cleats in the ground. We were late getting the call. We were late getting lined up. Didn't have our alignment correct, and that's going to be critical for us tonight.
7 straight touches for Singleton. He goes to the sideline. Allen back in there on 2nd down and 6. Give it to him. Allen nearly got away and then gets tripped up. Tuioti and Uyunglele combine on the stop.
Last year, and here we go, tempo again, almost 300 yards, and they averaged over 8 yards a carry running the football against this Duck defense.
10th play of the drive is play action for Aller. Aller rolls again, fires to the sideline, a little too high and out of bounds. Rappleyea was the intended target. Mixon got the pressure on Aller, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, pretty good pressure. You get the linebacker Mixon, who's going to come right in here, number 54, and then watch defensive end Blake Purchase, number 9, in coverage downfield on the backup tight end, and Drew Aller really nowhere to go with the football.
So Ryan Barker is going to come in. It's a 49-yard attempt. He missed from 40 in the Big Ten title game last year. It would tie his career long, which he made against Maryland last season. Thompson the holder, Duzansky the snapper, and the lefty drills it and gets Penn State on the board. Long drive, 11 plays down the field, nearly 5 minutes off the clock, and Penn State pops the cork here at the whiteout. 3-0, Nittany Lions.
Reach out my hand, oh miss.
Next year, experience the majesty of the Winter Olympics from Northern Italy. Friday, February 6th. It's all part of the legendary February on NBC and Peacock. And today, fans have the chance to join the ride on the road to Milan as we look forward to those games coming up in just a couple of months. 3-0 Penn State in front following the 11-play drive. And the fans ready to erupt once again for this Penn State defense that has looked strong through 1 quarter of play, as Wosu will send it away. Whittington and Lamar back there for the Ducks. And another touchback.
We talked about the communications challenge ahead of Oregon. So far, they look very efficient. Here's what they're doing. All the linemen are looking at the center. He's giving the line call. Then the right guard is looking at the quarterback, and once he sees the quarterback lift his leg, he taps the center, and then the other lineman can lock in and know whatever the rhythm is. After that tap, it might be a 1-beat, it might be a 2-beat. That's when the ball is going to be snapped. Your offensive tackles cannot look in at the ball. They have to be locked in on those outside rushers. So far, their communication system is pretty effective.
Especially against Denai Dennis Sutton, one of the most ferocious edge rushers in the country. Drive starts from the 25. Handoff goes to De'Aaron Hill. He finds a hole. Hill still rolling across the 40. And Hill finally spun down just shy of midfield. Rips off 24 on the ground.
We talked about Kenyon Sadiq. Communication, good up front. They're all on the same page. And then watch Kenyon Sadiq, number 18, with a big block on Amari Campbell. Not just a receiver, excellent blocker as well.
Quick catch for Benson on the outside. Gets across midfield into Penn State territory and then ushered out of bounds after a gain of 4.
This Oregon offensive line is extremely big. I mean, they went out and helped themselves in the transfer portal because the center, Lalolu, was the only returning starter. So they had to bring in some new guys, both tackles, Isaiah World, Alex Harkey, and then Emmanuel Pregnon, the left guard. But they are massive humans, and they're getting some movement up there on this Penn State defense in the run game.
Dante Moore, 5 completions, 5 different receivers. He had 4 touchdowns to 4 different pass catchers last week against Oregon State. Feeling the pressure here. Stays in the pocket, delivers a dart incomplete. He was looking for McClellan with tight coverage from Zion Tracy.
This is excellent coverage. And coverage, the protection's pretty good, and Dante Moore is going to do a nice job of standing in there. But this is just excellent coverage downfield by Tracy on the dig route.
Tracy missed the opener with an injury. He's back in full effect, rotating in that defensive backfield. Another 3rd down, this time 6 to go.
Guy who's been pretty quiet so far for Penn State, Zane Durant, right there in the middle, number 28.
Quick screen. Can Sadiq be special? and he's short. It'll be another 4th and short opportunity. Durant making things happen after a gain of 4.
I mean, this Zane Durant is a fun guy to watch. He's a little undersized for a defensive tackle at 6'1", 285 pounds, but extremely quick and athletic. And that time he chased the play down from his nose tackle position to bring up 4th down.
Moore looks, fires, complete. First down to Malik Benson.
Penn State kind of disguised their coverage. They're showing like it's man. They're close to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to bail out and play zone. Good recognition by Benson. Reading zone, finding the soft spot, and sitting down.
Keeps the drive rolling. Deep drop. Moore. That sidearm delivery, a little too tall for Whittington. We see those different arm angles from Dante Moore. He's got every throw in the book, just couldn't quite connect with his running back.
Yeah,
and it was tipped.
Yep, a little bit at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Zane Durant maybe got a hand on it. No, it wasn't Durant. It was Fisher, Zariah Fisher, number 36. That's why it sailed over the intended receiver, Whittington.
Just the 4th incompletion for the first-year starter at Oregon. Whittington on the handoff. And he gets propelled forward for a couple extra yards, but this Penn State defense ready once again as Dennis Sutton makes the play.
Tell you, the thing I like about Dennis Sutton is how hard he plays against the run as well as the pass. I mean, all edge guys like to rush the quarterback. They like sacks. They like tackles for loss. But he really plays hard, and he uses that physical body at 6'3", or 6'5", 265 pounds to defend the run as well.
You see DeCorian Moore and A.J. Harris matched up at the top of your screen. Marquee matchup on 3rd and 8. Penn State brings 4. Moore has to get out of the pocket. Moore, eyes downfield, tucks it and runs, and he's short of the first down. Zachy Wheatley comes up, makes sure he's down at the 29.
Now, this is just a case where he just dove too early. I think Dan Lanning is going to go for the field goal here. I think Moore could have gotten the first down. He leaves the pocket. He sees some green grass. He just dove too early and came up short of the first down. I know you don't want your quarterback to take a hit, but another yard and a half, and he picks up the first down.
And it's now a 47-yard attempt for Atticus Sappington. Honorable mention all Big Ten last year. He's 5 of 6 on the year. Season long from 42. Career long from 48. And Sappington cannot convert. Penn State keeps a 0 on the board. 3-0 Nittany Lions.
How about that, Noah and Todd?
Oh, that is certainly one of the other marquee games on the calendar this week. And we look at the United team here in State College. This one a 3-0 game. Alabama, you know, you lose week 1. Everybody starts saying the sky is falling. A lot of football left to be played after that.
And Ty Simpson has played lights out ever since that opening game against Florida State.
First down from the 29. Aller in trouble. He's going to go down. Just held it for a beat too long and then had nowhere to run.
Well, held it too long because there was nowhere to throw. Nobody was open. He's trying to read through his progressions. Watch, he's working the field. He's working his progressions. Nothing opens up for him, and then the pocket collapses. Again, these two edge rushers, Mateo and Fiotti, they're very competitive guys. They're constantly in a battle to see who's going to make the most plays in the backfield. They bring out the best in each other, and a negative yardage play there on first down. Penn State's got to get their new receivers involved in this offense.
That's one of them in motion. Instead, they're going to pitch it to Katron Allen, and he will bulldoze forward for a couple extra as we go now to KT.
Well, Mateo Uiagalelei told me the key to containing Drew Aller is knowing where the cage is. He said he's got a lot of strength with that size, 6'5", 235 pounds, and the ability to escape the pocket. They saw that firsthand in the Big Ten championship last year when Aller rushed for a career-high 54 yards. Uiagalelei said the defensive line, they're focused on narrowing his windows out of the pocket, guys.
And not just rushing, but Uiagalelei had a grab of his jersey when Aller threw a touchdown. late in that game. They know the strength, they know the arm talent, and now they're going to have to try to stop it on 3rd down and 7. Show and blitz.
Hudson is the contested catch guy, the big transfer from USC down here at the bottom.
They bring blitz. Free rusher. Aller can't get away, and he does get it off in time, but it's incomplete. Reynolds the target. Thieneman came in from the defensive backfield and laid the hit.
Well, they showed blitz and they brought blitz. That's a 0 blitz, meaning there's no safety. Here's Thieneman. He's the safety, but he's going to rush the quarterback. He gets a hold of Aller, but as you mentioned, that strength, Drew able to get rid of the football and almost gets a completion to his tight end Reynolds.
Big time jump on that snap by Amari Washington. Looked like maybe late substituting here for Penn State, but they're going to get off the operation cleanly with Wosu. Send it away to Gary Bryant, calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 25-yard line. So the Oregon defense holds once again, a 43-yard punt, and Dante Moore with another crack at it when we come back. Big Ten Saturday Night is brought to you by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. By Coca-Cola, fan work is thirsty work. And by Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. Well, so many iconic moments in the whiteout. That includes Allen Robinson's spectacular catch against Michigan in 2013. Of course, the blocked field goal by Marcus Allen that was returned for the touchdown as Penn State beat number 2 Ohio State. Now they're trying to take down number 6 Oregon with a 3-0 lead. Oregon's moved the ball fairly effectively. They just haven't punched it in once they've gotten to a certain point on the field. Whittington is in there on 1st down. And it's Moore from the 25. Quick throw, quick catch, and you were wondering when DeCorian Moore was going to get the hands on his football, and that gains 9 yards.
And they go after, again, A.J. Harris, their best cornerback. They've gone after him with a couple quick outs and quick slants. They're setting up a double move play for later in this ball game.
2nd down and 1. Whittington moves the sticks and drives the pile to the 40. Well, DeCorian Moore, so talented, and what Dan Lanning said, you know how talented he is because of the highlight tape, but the type of person he is and how much pride he's taken in blocking well has really gone a long way in inspiring the rest of his team. Here's Dante Moore. She's going to float it towards the sideline and out of bounds.
Yeah, he's a special kid. Now, came in early. Most of their freshmen come in at mid-year. So he starts right into football, right into training, but very conscientious, takes notes in meetings. Came in a little bit, when I talked to Will Stein, said he was just built different. He was different physically, he was different mentally, and he just came in ready to play from Duncanville, Texas, and a really good high school program there, and he has been outstanding so far in his first month as an Oregon Duck.
So Will Stein now in his 3rd year as the play caller offensive coordinator. 2nd and 10. They got penetration, but they couldn't get Hill initially. Now busted to the outside with a stiff arm, and he gets upended there. Zachy Wheatley stayed with the play. It gains 2, and it's 3rd and 8.
Penn State's really attacking the line of scrimmage on this play. Watch the penetration. Somehow the freshman eludes the rush there of Jalen Harvey. The stiff arm, but not enough to take Wheatley off the tackle. And 3rd down and long. Neither team has been very good on 3rd down. Oregon 2 of 7. Penn State 1 of 5 so far in the game.
Oregon came in 10th in the country in 3rd down percentage at 58%. Quick screen, Bryant, good blocking, and Bryant's going to be another half-yard shy. So another decision now at midfield for Dan Lanning.
Perfect call against that defense. There was an outside blitz that Jim Knowles brought, and they threw the screen right where the blitzers came from and came up just short in another 4th down situation. 2 of 3 on 4th down so far in the ball game for the Oregon offense. Tight splits up front for this offensive line.
Play action to Davison. Moore, whip it, middle, caught. It's DeCorian Moore at the 30. A gain of 20 yards on 4th down.
Well, Penn State thinking run all the way. The safeties, look, everybody's crowding the line of scrimmage. It's a play action pass to your freshman wide receiver. And Dante Moore shows poise and delivers a football, and he didn't try to lead him. He said, look, let's just get the first down. We'll throw it right at him, let him secure the catch, and now we're in business at the 30-yard line of Penn State.
DeCorian now 3 catches, 37 yards.
We've got the mystery number 35 in the ball game again, too, for Oregon. Somebody wearing a different jersey.
Up the middle, and Davison plunges across the 25 for 6 yards.
This is what Davison does. He gives you that brute force on the inside. We mentioned 6 touchdown runs, but 236 pounds. Kind of the new version of Thunder and Lightning out in Eugene. You got Davison and De'Air Hill, who we've seen, number 23, the speedster.
I've seen 4 running backs as expected, with Whittington and Lamar rounding out that group. Lamar's in there on the counter. He gets met. A.J. Harris greeted him at the line of scrimmage.
Now, this is the thing that makes A.J. Harris pretty special. Watch Harris now, number 4. He's going to slip under the block of the pulling lineman and then still make the tackle. And not only is he a good cover guy, he's willing to mix it up in the run game. That's what makes him special, and that's what's going to make him a heck of an NFL player as well.
Expected by many to be the top cornerback taken in this year's NFL draft. 3rd down and 4.
Sadiq's been pretty quiet here.
From the 24-yard line. Moore, loss. Incomplete, looking for Moore. Zion Tracy was back there, and now Sappington will have another chance to tie the game.
Yeah, Penn State went zone. I think Oregon was expecting man. This is a man route, and there was nowhere to go with the football. A little confusion created by Jim Knowles and the Penn State defense. And it forces another field goal attempt for Sappington.
So the first one he missed was from 47. This one is a 42-yard attempt. Bassol snap. Ferguson Reynolds will hold. And Sappington this time drills it. We are all even at 3. 10 plays down the field, 51 yards, just over 4 minutes off the clock, and Sappington makes up for his first error and gets us tied, 3 apiece. Europe has to get to 14 to retain. The U.S. would have to get to 14.5 to win it.
Well, we need to see this Penn State offense here with 3:42 left in the first half show a little bit more life.
Remember, Penn State did defer. They won the toss, so they will get the football. This will start from the 25 for this Oregon defense that has played some really stellar football so far today. They lost a lot. 9 primary starters from last year's team. All of them went to the NFL. A number of them high draft picks. So they got 2 transfers in Thieneman and Kennedy in that back line. And then 3 freshmen. 2 of them are redshirt freshmen. And then Brandon Finney Jr., one of just 2 true freshmen who start the season opener this year for Oregon. You see the points allowed through weeks 4 and total yards. Tosh Lapoy has done an excellent job.
Well, they've only got 40 yards, Penn State's offense, so far in the first half. They've neutralized the run, and they've not given up any big play in the pass game.
It's Allen.
And that's Bear Alexander, another transfer. Again, this defense lost 3 defensive interior players that were drafted in the first 3 rounds. Bear Alexander, watch him right in the middle, transfer from USC. Just stands that play up.
Deep drop, sidearm sling. It's caught by Dinkins, the tight end, across the 30 down to the 32. And it's 3rd and short.
They brought in 3 wide receivers, Penn State. All transfers. Kyron Hudson from USC, Devontae Ross from Troy, Trevor Pena from Syracuse. Pena and Hudson have not been targeted yet in the ballgame. They threw 1 time to Devontae Ross, and it was a negative yardage play. And here they are at 3rd down again.
They had Pena on that jet sweep, but he has not been targeted, as Todd mentioned, in the pass game. Let's see what they do on 3rd down and 2 with Dinkins in the backfield. Singleton lined up in the slot. Here is Pena in motion. Fake it to him. Aller keeps. Nice move by Drew Aller to move the sticks.
Well, Andy Kotelnicki said there might be a little bit more quarterback run. I think Drew's lucky he held on to this ball because Uiagalelei kind of knocks it around a little bit. but he shows you the strength and his willingness to run for tough yards on that third down play.
Spent a lot of Singleton and Allen, 9 combined rushes. Singleton has 2 catches for 28 yards. And the longest play of the day for this Penn State offense, a catch of 15 yards on a conversion.
This is 13 personnel, meaning 1 back and 3 tight ends. So it looks like a running formation.
And it's irrelevant. They're going to go to the 2-minute timeout. So we'll see what Penn State comes out with on the other side. These two teams, this is Big Ten football at its best. 3 apiece, 2 minutes of play in the first half on Big Ten Saturday night.
Well, Mateo Uiagalelei last year was one of the best pass rushers in the Big Ten. And one thing this year, his coordinator, Tosh Lapoy, says he's most proud of is how hard he's playing against the run. He's become more of a complete defensive player, given the same kind of effort in defending the run as he is rushing the passer. And off to a very quick start in this ball game so far in the first half.
And TB, you mentioned the 3 guys they lost up front. Derek Harmon, Jordan Birch, Jamari Caldwell just meant so much to this defense. Uiagalelei taking the mantle. Here's the first catch for Pena and a minimal gain as he gets wrapped up after 5.
Kind of a funky formation, 4 guys out into the boundary. It didn't fool the Oregon defense. And now tempo again for Penn State.
Handoff this time going backward. Singleton, bear hug from the bear man. It's Bear Alexander with a stop.
Yeah, he just gets off the ball and beats the center, Nick Dawkins. Watch Bear Alexander getting into the backfield, and this run defense.
Timeout, Oregon, their first.
This run defense of Oregon.
1 minute, 40 seconds.
Run defense has been impressive. Again, last year in the Big Ten Championship, Penn State ran for 297 yards, averaged almost 9 yards a carry. They had 10 explosive runs of 10 yards or more. That's not the same running game tonight, thanks to Tosh Lapoy and this Oregon defense. They have neutralized Singleton and Allen.
Exactly what you said, TB. Already with 4 TFLs in this game. They've lost 14 yards against this Andy Kotelnicki offense. And when we talked to Bryce Betcher, the star linebacker, he said Dan Lanning stresses to his team they have to be the most physical team in the country. He felt that's why they won the Big Ten last year. They have set the physical edge so far today.
And it's obvious they have made a concerted effort to stop the run, to defend the run, and force Drew Aller and these receivers to beat him throwing the football.
Big third down here.
2 of 9 for Penn State on third down so far.
Aller looks, Aller slips, gets rid of it, and it's caught for the first down. Devontae Ross comes back to make the grab.
Well, this looks like Drew Aller making a play against USC in the 4th quarter last year when he kind of had his coming out game. Beautiful job hanging in the pocket, delivering the ball off balance for the first down.
They were trying to go tempo, and it's going to be a false start, or at least an illegal formation. Ron Snodgrass is really good at the hand signals. Let's see if we can hear him as well.
Yeah, the center, Nick Dawkins, moved his foot out of position, didn't snap the football, a lot of movement. Watch this effort by Drew Aller now, just kind of hanging in there. And that's the advantage when you're 6'5", 240 pounds. You can see, you can hang in here and make a big-time throw for the conversion on third down and long.
That sounds nice.
Penn State still has all 3 timeouts, so they really don't have to panic here with 1:28.
Aller, rifle, incomplete. He was looking for Reynolds with tight coverage.
The ball's behind Reynolds. This ball needs to be on his front shoulder. There's nobody on the other side of the defense, and Drew Aller throws this ball behind his tight end. Sometimes intentionally you throw to the back shoulder. This didn't need to be a back shoulder throw, and that's a hard catch for the tight end to make, running full speed down the seam.
So now clock stops at 1:25, 2nd and 15.
Oregon showing pressure again with 2 deep safeties.
And they will drop it back. Aller with time on courts, incomplete. In the direction of Hudson with the true freshman Brandon Finney back there with him.
They showed pressure, but they dropped a couple linemen out. It was really only a three-man rush, dropping 8, and just wasn't able to connect with Hudson, who had some separation on the comeback route on the sideline.
And now think about the critical aspect of the 2 incompletions. Clock's at 1:20. Yeah. Oregon has 2 timeouts.
Well, and I think if you're Penn State, I mean, even if you don't get the first down, let's try to get half of this yardage if you're Drew Aller, and then maybe go for it again on 4th down.
Put Pena in motion late. It is Aller on 3rd and 15. Rainbow is short. Looking for Hudson once again, and 3 straight incompletions is going to give Oregon the football back with 1:14 remaining.
Well, nice little stunt. Watch the tackle effect here, and here comes Uiagalelei inside. It's going to force Drew Aller to get rid of the football before he wants to. And an inaccurate pass, and 3 times they stop the clock with incompletions, and Oregon gets to save their timeouts.
So Wosu on for his 3rd punt, and does get it off just cleanly enough. Bryant calls for the fair catch and makes it just inside the 10-yard line. So 1:07, 2 timeouts coming up on the Xfinity halftime report. Alabama off to a hot start on the road against Georgia. And who's the top team in the country? Starting to get shape here about a month plus into the season. Everybody will discuss it. Xfinity halftime report. All right, 1:07. You've got it from the 10-yard line. You've got to go 90 for the touchdown, get it into that field goal range. We asked Dan Lanning what that field goal range would look like, as they've got, it looks like, an injury going off in Dalen Austin. Dante Moore has been efficient. They haven't popped one loose yet.
Well, and right now, it's the can you get the first down? That'll determine how aggressive you are the rest of this drive.
To the air. And a catch made, quickly down. Kenyon Sadiq gains 7.
If you get the first down and the clock stops as they reset the chains, then maybe Will Stein will open it up a little bit more.
Moore, Whittington, there is the first down. Tries to make a man miss, but Amari Campbell was right there with him. So 47 seconds.
Now maybe you can push the ball downfield. And again, 2 timeouts, so you can throw anywhere. You just got to be smart if you're Dante Moore.
Penn State brings 4. Moore delivers wide open. DeCorian Moore along the sideline gets out of bounds.
Penn State playing some soft coverage here in this part of the field. If this ball gets on the other side of the 50, I would expect to see Jim Knowles change his tactics. A little bit more man and a little bit more pressure. Right now he's willing to concede some short throws, keep everything in front. 3 safety look for this Penn State defense.
Moore on play action. Good protection. Flag is down. And Moore just has to get it to Whittington, who's ducked out of bounds by Collins. Looked like potentially a hold against this Oregon offense.
Yeah, I think they're going to get the left tackle Isaiah World blocking on.
Holding, offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, the left tackle, watch 76 on the inside move by Sutton. He's just going to drag him down to the ground. It's a takedown right in front of the official. Had a hold of the jersey and pulled him to the ground.
Only so much you can do against Big 33. So now, 1st and long from the 27. Moore in the pocket, short. Looking for DeCorian again, and out 2nd and 20. Make it McClellan as the intended target. Will Stein now mulling over his options.
Again, what Jim Knowles is doing right now in this part of the field, he doesn't have to pressure. He trusts he can get enough heat with 4-man rush, and he's going to play all 3 of these safeties back deep. Keep the top on the defense. Don't let anybody run behind it.
Quick throw to DeCorian Moore. Couldn't get away. Davion Collins with a nice tackle, and Oregon with 2 timeouts. Looks like they will let this dwindle all the way down.
Yeah, there's no point in being aggressive now. Your defense has played lights out. You're on the road in the whiteout. It's 3-3. You're starting fresh in the second half,
and now Oregon has taken their second timeout with 6 seconds remaining. So they will add a couple more seconds up to 9. But if you're going to take the timeout, curious to let that time come off the clock. So there is Sappington, who didn't miss the field goal from 47 earlier, then made from 42, has now only missed 4 field goals in his Oregon career, including a 57-yarder against Oklahoma State in week 2. He missed from 52 and 44 last year. And again, the target line, according to Lanning, that they would be willing to attempt is around the 40. That would be about a 58-yarder. They've got enough time to get it there. But a 3rd and 13 upcoming, and we'll see what Lanning, Will Stein, and company have cooked up.
well, again, Penn State is going to try to keep everything in front. They are going to play a deep-looking defense and force this ball to be thrown underneath.
Moore, there is the underneath catch, and Lamar will get out of bounds with 1 second. They're going to keep that clock rolling. It looked like he was going backward by the time he was going out. 0's on the clock, and that will be the end of the first half. 3 apiece after 2. Number 3, Penn State. Number 6, Oregon. You can feel the emotion and the electricity here at the whiteout. Penn State will have the second half kickoff after they defer to open this game. Oregon outgained Penn State 189-69, and yet James Franklin and his team all tied up now with KT.
Coach, 3 straight incompletions for Drew Aller on that last drive. How do you get him in the offense going here in the second half?
Yeah, we got to get going up front. We got to get our running game established. That's when we're always at our best. So then we're not in third and obvious passing situations when they're able to tee off on us with their pass rush.
Your defense has played very well, but they stayed on the field a long time in that first half. How do you keep them fresh here heading into the second?
The offense has got to stay on the field on third down. Defense got to get off the field on third down. Part of the issue with the defense is they're getting too much on first down, so they're always in third and manageable, which allows them to go for it on fourth down if they don't get it.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, KT. James Franklin will regroup with his team, looking for a top 10 victory here at home. 3 apiece after 2. We'll check in with the studio next on Big Ten Saturday Night. Get more with Geico. Time now for the Big Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. 3-all ball game after 2. First half stats are skewed in favor of Oregon. 189 yards to just 69, but that third down conversion still an issue for the Ducks. Had a couple of fourth down conversions in that first half. 6 different rushers have gone for 77 yards. 7 different receivers up to 112. You look at the quarterback comparison, Drew Aller, 45 yards, second fewest passing yards in a first half as the starting quarterback at Penn State. Big game. The questions were, how would he fare? How would Moore fare in this crazy atmosphere? We've gotten some of those answers so far. Still 2 quarters to play and a lot more questions that will be answered the rest of the way.
Well, and questions for Andy Kotelnicki here in the second half, how he can open things up in this Penn State offense.
And it will start from the 25 for the Nittany Lions as we check in with KT.
Well, Noah, Dan Lanning was quite relaxed coming out of the tunnel at the half. He was high-fiving the few Oregon fans in attendance when he came out. And I talked to him about what you were just discussing, that fact that Oregon has converted 3 of 4 on fourth down, but only 3 points to show for it. He said, actually, we have to do a better job on third down and also win the defensive battles on third down as well. I said, well, you have to be pretty satisfied with your defense. They've done a great job stopping the run. And he said, job's not done, guys.
All right, a little Mamba mentality from Dan Lanning. Drive starts from the 25. Swing it, Katron Allen. Good blocking, slips through across the 30.
Just like a run play. You know, they're having trouble getting movement on this Oregon defensive line. So get the ball out quickly to Katron Allen, and it's just like a wide run play, but you get him away from some bodies, and a good first down play for 6 yards.
Second down and 4. Drew Aller going up against this high-powered Oregon defense. A lot of new faces, especially in the secondary for Oregon. They have played well in their first real test of the season. Pena the motion man, second down and 4. Hand it to him. Pena gets to the edge, and he will be a yard short of first down yardage. 3rd and 1.
Again, you've got run pass options here, but eventually I'd like to see if Penn State can go after this true freshman cornerback. I mean, we don't know if he's good or not. Brandon Finney, obviously good enough to earn the job, but they haven't attacked him at all. He's in the boundary. With 3rd and 1, you kind of think and run here by Penn State.
Dan Lanning always likes to say, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Finney's good enough, he's old enough. They go quick on 3rd and short, and that extra effort from Katron Allen is going to move the sticks.
Yeah, Betcher met him in the hole, but just the power of Katron Allen. Watch Betcher. He reads it. He comes right in here, gets a body on him behind the line of scrimmage. Just can't get him to the ground before the first down conversion.
I feel like Allen has come back this year more explosive. Stoppage.
Going on the field as the runner achieved the line to gain. The play's under further review.
So they're going to take another look at it. It did look live that he got it on that second effort. As mentioned, Betcher was there immediately with contact. James Franklin puzzled.
Well, and the other thing that it does is it slows down. Penn State likes to go tempo after a first down, after a conversion like this. It sure looked like he got it, unless his knee was down early, but it looked like he got the first down.
That's exactly the question. Where's his knee go down where the ball is? The knee's still up, and yeah, that second effort, he absolutely has the first down yard to gain. Had to get to the 35, and looks like it's at the 35.5. So this should be a pretty quick review.
Well, it has been tough sledding.
On the field is upheld. First down.
Tough sledding for this Penn State running game against this Oregon defensive front seven. A much different result so far in the first half and change of this game than it was when they met in the Big Ten championship game, but it's because of penetration. Mateo Uiagalelei, Bear Alexander, they're pushing the line of scrimmage and getting into the backfield, and they're just kind of winning at the point of attack. This wasn't the case when they met in Indianapolis, but it has been so far tonight.
Reynolds was the motion man. Aller through his progressions, finds the open man. Khalil Dinkins, his other tight end, 16 yards for number 16 and a first down.
Yeah, really nice job by Aller. Watch him move this guy with his eyes. That kept Betcher away from the tight end just long enough to get the ball in there. The eyes to the right, moved the linebacker, and Dinkins able to come down with the completion. This is only the 6th play that Penn State has run in Oregon territory, and one of those plays was a field goal attempt.
Coach LaPoy has called a beautiful game so far. What does Andy Kotelnicki have as a response? First down from the 49. Allen, patient, and tripped up at the 46-yard line. Bear Alexander adds a tackle to his tally.
Nice little fake of the jet sweep, and now tempo.
Penn State looking to get the crowd back involved in this game. Second down and 6. Aller's going to tuck, and Aller's going to pick up the first down.
That's what he did in the Big Ten championship game. I mean, he's not particularly fast. He's not real nimble as a runner, but he's effective. Wide splits by the Penn State offensive line. Drew Aller sees an opening, and he's just elusive enough to get positive yards and pick up the first down. And a very promising opening drive here for the Nittany Lions to start the second half.
Andy Kotelnicki talked about the difference of running the offense around Drew Aller versus through him. Those are the types of plays he's tried to stress to Drew as important in games like this, and keeping longer drives on the field. Play action, bootleg, Aller, pump, and he's going nowhere. taken down by Tatum. Tuioti loses a yard.
This is a play where Drew thought he was going to be able to get around Tatum, but watch, these two guys on the edge, excellent players. He reads it, he keeps him contained, he breaks down, and he makes the tackle on Drew Aller for a loss of yardage. I think Drew thought he would outrun him, tried to cut it back, and nowhere to go.
So officially second down and 12. Under center, pitch it, Singleton. Using the speed, and he's tripped up. Gets upended by Aaron Flowers after a gain of 3. And then the ball comes away. Yeah, Betcher has the football after the play.
Rolling on the field, the runner was down. Third down.
And let's see it here.
Really nice defense by Oregon, limiting that play.
And Singleton obviously down.
Aaron Flowers, number 21, is the guy who came up and made the tackle on Singleton. Brown can't cause the fumble there, and third down and long here for Penn State.
Flowers, another one of these younger defensive backs, number 7 safety recruit in the class of 2024, now in his redshirt freshman year. Play clock down to 5. It's a 3rd and 9. Fake the pitch. It was read the entire way. Tuioti makes another play.
Tuioti, he just does a beautiful job here because he actually is going to defend both guys. Watch Tuioti. He's going to come across the line, and he's going to defend here, and he's going to defend here. He gets right between the back and the quarterback, and then falls back in and makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. 2 big-time plays in this possession by the outside edge rusher for Oregon.
And so one of the most productive drives of the day for this Penn State offense is going to stall and force a punt from Wosu. He sends it high, and it'll bounce in the end zone. They had a man down there, just couldn't quite get underneath it. So Oregon will get the football back. Still all even, 3 apiece. With Discover It, fans can earn cash back on their game day purchases. Well, last night, Bald Eagle area goes on the road and gets a 19-14 victory. It is tough to win on the road, especially when Big Ten Saturday night comes to get some shots. It's rare that we see a road victory. Speaking of road victory, that little sliver of green is hoping that they can see it in this whiteout as Oregon will set up shop from the 20. Quick throw, it's Lamar, and he'll gain 6 yards on first down.
Well, one thing these Oregon fans are used to seeing is more explosive plays. That's Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator. The last time he saw this Oregon offense was in the Rose Bowl. His Ohio State defense held Oregon to 276 total yards, minus 23 yards rushing. 8 sacks, 13 tackles for loss in the blowout win to end the Oregon season a year ago. They've only given up 2 explosive plays so far in the game to this Duck offense.
And looked like movement. Would be the 3rd penalty against Oregon, right at their season average.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And it's the tight end, Sadiq.
And that's probably going to get this crowd, which has been pretty quiet, back in the game, because they keep track on the scoreboard here of those kind of penalties, and they attribute it to the crowd. They take pride in it, and let's see if that doesn't get them revved up even more on this play.
3.5 penalties per game is 8th best in FBS entering the week for Oregon. Handoff, Lamar up the middle, and he gets across the 25 down to the 27-yard line.
Well, brings up another 3rd down situation. Dan Lanning told KT at halftime, we got to be better on 3rd down. They were 2 of 10 in that first half. They were 3 of 4 on 4th down because they had some short yardage situations. But their first 3rd down situation of the second half right here.
We'll see what Moore has done. He's been effective on 4th down with his legs in particular. This one 3rd and 3. Moore feeling the pressure, rolls out, eyes downfield, fires, wide open, it's caught by Sadiq. There's the big play for this Ducks offense to move the chains. Game's 22.
Well, this is just poised by that guy right here. Watch Dante Moore get flushed because of the pressure from Dennis Sutton. Doesn't give up on the play. Kind of dangerous throwing back across your body, but nonetheless, it goes for the first down. Big time conversion on third down to Sadiq.
And now far more concerning for Penn State. You look at that back end of the throw and the just sheer talent that Moore possesses. But the concerning factor here is Dennis Sutton is down for the Nittany Lions. We'll check on him when we come back from State College.
Well, Dennis Sutton looks to be okay, but he was not happy on the last play, thinking he got held by Isaiah World. You can see right there as Dante Moore left the pocket, he doesn't get the call. Cramped up a little bit after the play. James Franklin didn't like the no call, but hold or no hold, this was a stupid good throw by Dante Moore. Dangerous across your body, risky, yes, but what a play to convert on third and long.
As Dan Lanning told his players, the crowd can't make a tackle, they can't make a catch, they can't score a touchdown. Only his team can be in control of what happens on the field. Moore was in control on that conversion. Now it's first down. Delayed handoff for Lamar. And patiently weaves his way through traffic for 3 yards.
Well, there's no question. I mean, both defenses have played extremely well. But offensively, Oregon has had better balance. They've gained more yards, and they've had a little bit better mix of run and pass. But neither offense has been able to come up with very many big plays. That last third down throw to Sadiq, only the third explosive play of the ball game for this Duck offense.
Look at the yardage difference, outgaining them by 119. Both true freshman running backs in there right now on this second down and 7. From the 47, it's Hill to the outside. Hill's got speed down the sideline and out of bounds. De'Air Hill Jr. picks up 27.
Well, we talk about Sadiq as a receiver. Watch him block here on Dennis Sutton. He's going to get the kick-out block, and then a nice lead block by the freshman Davison, and then the speed of Hill.
Tracy couldn't make the tackle. Right back to Hill, and those young legs doing work. Gained 6 more up the middle this time.
Kenyon Sadiq, the NFL guys are going to love him because he's not just a catching, receiving tight end. He likes to block, whether he's on the end of the line, whether he's lined up in the slot, or even out wide in space. He enjoys the physical part of the game, and it's a big part of why Oregon is running the football with some success tonight. Now over 100 yards, 115 yards rushing for the Ducks.
James Franklin said the same thing about Tyler Warren last year. He hates when the Mackey Award goes to a big receiver. He felt Warren could do it all. They believe Sadiq can do it all in Eugene. First trip in the red zone for either team. Second down and 4. Pitch it. Davison. Stop there. Rojas comes up and makes a big play.
Yeah, that's a big-time hit by Rojas. I mean, Rojas is a linebacker with 4.3 speed, so he can make plays sideline to sideline. Watch him track this and just run and be there before any other defender, and then a physical at the end. That was the one thing Jim Knowles said about last year. He didn't think Rojas played physical enough. This year he stepped up his game in that regard. That was a physical tackle.
3rd and 3.
Watch quarterback run here.
Quick throw, quick catch. Sadiq again to move the chains.
Now this is just a quarterback and the tight end being on the same page. Watch how quickly Sadiq gets his eyes on the quarterback. Right now, boom, give it to me right now. I know what I need for the first down. And that is a quarterback and a tight end being on the same page and getting another conversion on 3rd down.
When you ask Dante Moore about Kenyon Sadiq, he says just give the ball to 18. That dude's going to make a play. Jump, run, doesn't matter. And he always does it with a smile on his face. This time he sets up 1st and goal.
2 tight ends in the game now, Sadiq and Jamari Johnson.
Whittington spun down, kept his footing, and then lost the football. Scooped up by Penn State. Zachy Wheatley, shoved out of bounds by Dante Moore. Let's get loud at Beaver Stadium. Nittany Lions have been looking for a big play all night, and they find it. Coleman knocks it out. Wheatley scoops it up.
After review, the runner's knee was down with the ball at the 8-yard line. It's second down.
Terry McCauley, they have called him down. Take us through it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That right knee is going to graze the top of the grass. We zoom in on it. You can see it come down and just touch the top of the grass. That's down. Correct reversal by replay. Oregon keeps the ball.
That's an incredible shot.
Yeah.
Literally just grazes the top of the blades of grass, and what was meant to be the best starting field position for Penn State gets Dante Moore and Noah Whittington back on the field with a 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal from the 8. Condensed defense here. No easy windows if you throw the football. Again, would not be surprised to see a design quarterback run here by Dante Moore on this down or the next one.
10th play of the drive. Moore, quick, Hill, catch, Hill, blocking, Hill, touchdown! Oregon takes advantage and finally finds pay dirt at Beaver Stadium.
What a great job by Alex Harkey, number 71, the right tackle. Watch what he does. He's going to start by just swiping this man and then going out and getting the lead block. Watch, he swipes the edge rusher out and then gets the key block, and the back does a nice job cutting in behind him. DeCorian Moore also with a big block, the freshman receiver. Perfect execution on that 2nd down play by the Oregon offense.
Ducks have their first lead of this whiteout matchup. Zappington's extra point, and it's 10-3 Oregon. Well, they call football a game of inches. This is what they mean. Literally inches off the ground. They call him down as he was grazing the top of the grass. And then as the freshman, De'Aaron Hill with his first receiving touchdown of his career to put his team up front, 10-3.
To set up the throw, right? You want to set up your play action pass by running the football. Penn State has not been able to run. They need to throw to run. That means throw some on 1st down.
And they will throw on 1st down here, and it's just in and out of the hands of Kyron Hudson, finally targeting big number 1.
You know, and what has continued to happen for Drew in this game tonight, when they have thrown the football, and this is what I saw watching film of the first 3 weeks, he has missed throws that he shouldn't miss. The ball placement is just not what you would expect from him or what you've seen him do in other situations. That's a ball there that should have been thrown in a little better spot, and it was a good call to throw it on 1st down.
Reynolds the motion man, 2nd down and 10. Quick throw, Singleton is dragged down. Jaden Kennedy.
Wow, what a play by Kennedy. Just fought through the block and made a play behind the line of scrimmage. This Oregon defense attacking the line of scrimmage. Watch him fight off the block of the wide receiver and then get behind there and make the tackle. Again, aggressive play by one of those new defenders. Kennedy was one of the guys that transferred from Ole Miss, the starter in that nickel position.
5 primary starters in the secondary last year for Oregon, all under 6 foot. 4 of the 5 are 6 foot or taller. Kennedy at 5'11". Here comes the rush. Aller fadeaway, nearly picked. Flowers had a chance at it. Instead of 3 and out, and here come the boos.
Well, he had to get rid of the ball. I mean, this is a rush by Uiagalelei, who just whips Drew Shelton, the left tackle, and Drew has to get rid of the football. Now, it wasn't an accurate pass, but that protection was a breakdown by Drew Shelton working on Uiagalelei. Right there, he's beat right away.
Losu spiraling kick, fair catch called for and made by Bryant at the 24.
This has been a line of scrimmage game that Oregon has had the upper hand. They've had the upper hand with their offensive line against Penn State's defense, better balance, 274 total yards, and clearly they've had the upper hand up front on the defensive line, just knocking this Penn State offensive line back. Penn State with 109 total yards and only 47 yards rushing.
And Todd, we've talked about the effect that this crowd could have in this game. Oregon, at the moment, has taken them completely out.
There's been no hiccups in their operation. Credit Dan Lanning, Will Stein, and their staff. Credit the veteran center, the poise of Dante Moore. They've operated efficiently.
Handoff on first down. Hill had the touchdown. Now he's got a shimmy shake and gains 11.
Well, again, this is the two freshmen. Watch Davidson, the lead blocker, get right in here and lead the way. Good blocking on the right side. The right tackle, Harkey. Davison with the block on Rojas. And a first down run.
Right back to Hill. Hot hand up the middle.
They're gashing him right now.
And you can see that lightning speed from Hill. When he can have that crease, it becomes a hole in a hurry.
And there is no better way to silence a loud crowd than by running the football on the home team's defense.
Second down and 1. Keep it with him. Hill, first down. Well, we asked Dan Lanning about his running back rotation. He just said the best guys are going to play.
Right.
And guess what? We got a lot of really good guys. We've seen the 4 that we expected with Whittington, Lamar, Hill, and Davison, and all of them have been effective in different spots.
Yeah, and all stay fresh. You know, when you rotate 4 different guys, I mean, everybody should be fresh and ready to go when they get their turn to call.
Against a Penn State defense that has primarily played their starters for the first time this year. Moore, Sadiq, stumbled initially and then gets blasted at midfield. Gains 2. King Mack goes up to lay the extra boom at the end. Final minute of this third quarter. Oregon now up to 299 total yards. Penn State 109. Rojas coming on the blitz. Well protected. Moore steps up. Now he's going to run, and he'll slide down at the 46-yard line.
A good decision. Both to run and then also the decision to slide when he did. He came up short, but he gives his team a great chance here on third down in Penn State territory. And this could be 2-down territory right here like it was in the first half.
We will find out on the other side as Oregon will bring it down to the 4th.
That's the end of the third quarter. Timeout on the field.
10-3 after 3. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. You're watching Big Ten Saturday Night on NBC, presented by Discovery. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford. Ready, set, Ford. Big third down and 4 upcoming for this Oregon offense, and they have played a really impressive ball game so far.
Well, they really have. I mean, it's just a one-score game, but it just feels more one-sided than it is. And again, I think this is probably, depending on this play, Dan Lanning probably thinking this might be 2-down territory here. His offensive line is getting a lot of push on this possession. Running the football. Big opportunity here for the Penn State defense.
Oregon 2 for 10 on third down in the first half. They're 2 for 2 so far in the second half. It's Moore through his progressions. Has to get away on the run. Perfect touch. DeCorian Moore, the hands grab. First down, Ducks.
Another scramble adjustment. Watch, man-to-man out here working on A.J. Harris. He's covered, but on the scramble, DeCorian Moore breaks deep. And Dante Moore, with no panic and all poise, delivers a perfect throw.
29 yards. DeCorian now up to 86 on the day. Lamar will take it inside the 15 to the 14.5-yard line. Second trip to the red zone for this Oregon offense, and it was only a matter of time before he made a big play.
Yeah, he's just not what you expect from a true freshman receiver. Now, we saw one in Columbus last year that looked pretty special. ahead of his time, Jeremiah Smith. This kid here is ahead of his time, too, as a true freshman.
Already with a career high in yards. Now can he add a score? The freshman backs in there for this 2nd down and 7. Hill couldn't get away. Grabbed by Zion Tracy in the backfield.
Big time play by Tracy, because this Penn State defense, they need to hold this to a field goal opportunity. I don't know that they can overcome a 2-touchdown deficit the way their offense is playing right now. And a big play behind the line of scrimmage by Tracy. This is a defense that thrives on negative yardage, tackle for losses, and sacks. That was a big one right there to force 3rd and 10.
Penn State brings 4 with a spy. Moore sheds the tackle. Moore slides down. It'll depend on the spot. Looks like he's a yard shy. 4th and 1.
Well, you called the spy. They've got one. 24 is right there, Amari Campbell. He's trying to measure him up, and Dante Moore makes him miss. Knows what he needs for the 1st down, protects the football, and gets the conversion. Big time play, and he looks unflappable, right? I mean, he is 4th and 1, but he is unflappable out there right now.
And they're going to keep the offense out there. Davis in the big back.
Dan Lanning wants timeout.
So the first charge timeout for Oregon with 12:29 to play. Lanning having an extended discussion with the officials. Come back, 4th and 1 for the Ducks, up 7. It's pretty hard to believe, considering the success of late. Here's a huge play.
Yeah. Play the game for Penn State's defense.
Fourth and 1. Davison, 6 foot, 236 in the backfield. 10th play of the drive. Davison. Got it, and then some, touchdown! 8-yard strike from Davison, and the Ducks extend the lead. Sappington adds the extra point after the 7th touchdown in the true freshman season of Jordan Davison.
Well, this is a great call. Now, look, this is the normal right tackle. They moved him over to here, so it's 3 offensive linemen here, a backup tight end, Tracy, who's going to get a block, and Davidson. They run outside. Penn State expecting inside run. They went out a gap, blocked it perfectly with an unbalanced line. And Davis in the big back powers it into the end zone. Penn State had all their big bodies inside. They went out. And Dan Lanning loves it.
Watch this at the end right here. The celebration from his team. Lanning kind of gave the signal of, that's it. Put him to sleep. Davison, 10 for 10, according to PFF, on all conversions of 2 yards or less. Only 4 carries on the day, but 18 yards and a huge touchdown.
And the reason that touchdown is so huge, I mean, Penn State has scored once. They've got 3 points. Now they've got to score 2 touchdowns to get back in this thing, and they have had 0 explosive plays. No runs over 10 yards, no pass completions over 20 yards so far in the ball game. Where do they go? Who do they look for to make a play?
Khalil Dinkins has the longest catch of 16 yards as that ball will make its way to the end zone. Well, tomorrow night, this is a big one and continues our fantastic weekend on NBC as Micah Parsons heads back to Dallas faces the team that traded him just a couple weeks ago. Packers and Cowboys, Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Of course, Micah, a huge star here in State College at Penn State. Continue the Stick City legacy, wearing that number 11 at the linebacker spot for a couple of seasons with the Nittany Lions, and hoping to do the same to his former team tomorrow night. First down from the 25. Aller over the middle. This time he puts it in the pocket for Reynolds, who gains 9.
A lot of time left for Drew Aller. 12 minutes and 15 seconds. You can't get it all back in 1 or 2 plays, but you've got to get some chunk plays. You've got to get something down the field to stretch this Oregon defense. They've pretty much neutralized your run, and they haven't given up a pass play of over 20 yards.
Rapelier in the backfield. Ross in motion on 2nd and 1. It's Allen. Finds the hole. Katron Allen. Stutter step move. Allen couldn't break free of the last one, and then he is surrounded across midfield. But there's your explosive run of 18 yards.
There's the one you needed. Now you loosen this defense up a little bit. You get the nice pass to your tight end, and then Allen with some running room. And Penn State back at the line of scrimmage with a first down.
And a great job by Betcher just to keep a grasp. Sidearm delivery. It's caught by Pena. Gets away. And then stutter step on the sideline as he gets driven backward, but picks up 12. So now this Penn State offense cooking with a little bit of juice. And the fans and student section a little bit more involved. Under 11 minutes to play, Penn State 149 yards of total offense compared to 349 for Oregon. Andy Kotelnicki just feels like there's something up his sleeve at some point here, and they badly need a score, and they need it quick. From the 35, fake it to Singleton. Aller takes the shot, separation, touchdown! Devontae Ross, 35 yards. Turn up the noise once again at Beaver Stadium.
Well, they went turn protection. That means they're blocking everybody this way. They kept the tight end in. Ross is in the slot, gonna run the post. He's one-on-one on Thieneman. He beats him, and Drew Aller delivers a perfect throw. Devontae Ross battled an injury early in camp. He had a limited role in this pass offense, healthy tonight, and his first big pass play of the game for this Penn State offense.
And more than anything, a minute 55 to get down the field 75 yards and make it 17-10. A sigh of relief in State College. Aller has the touch under the ball. Ross does the rest, and we've got a ball game in a whiteout. Glee Club performed in front of fans at the Penn State Creamery. Penn State Glee Club, founded in 1888. Penn State's oldest student organization. Huge drive there for Drew Aller. Had 62 yards coming into the drive. Went 3 for 3, 56 yards in the score.
Yeah, beautiful throw and really a nice design. Andy Kotelnicki going for the shot play, maximize his protection for his quarterback, and it paid off.
Roser booms it. Whittington will let it fly into the end zone.
We'll go back and look at this now. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the back is also going to stay in. They're going to release this tight end, and then they're going to get single coverage. Devontae Ross on the safety, Thieneman. The tight end holds the one safety, single coverage, no match for Devontae Ross. Maximum protection with 7 guys staying in. And Drew Aller, with a clean pocket, delivers the best throw he's made all night. And
maybe most importantly, has gotten the crowd back into it. First down line here brought to you by T-Mobile. And he'll start from the 25 once again. Moore rolls. Moore will gain 4 out of bounds. He had Rojas in pursuit with that 4.3 speed. Moore spilled out on the Penn State sideline, helped up by Lamar.
Yeah, the thing about right now is he's going to be all wet. I mean, his pants are going to be wet, his jersey's wet, his towel is wet as he went sliding on the sideline. Lost the ball and then looked like he was on a slip and slide.
It was like a bowling ball. How many pins did he knock over? 1, 2. That's a 7-10 split. 2nd and 6. Lamar. Penn State is ready with A.J. Harris.
Well, I'm impressed with A.J. Harris as a run defender. Cover corner and physical corner. And now a big 3rd down play. Kenyon Sadiq is in the slot to the open side of the field. Here he is right here, number 18.
Moore got it. 1st down. Put it in the perfect spot for Gary Bryant.
Gary Bryant is the glue piece to this wide receiver group. Knew what he needed for the 1st down. Gets it, secures the catch. It's out of the quarterback's hands quickly, and they get a new set of downs. Gary Bryant was hurt all of last year. Fought through it. He's healthy this year. Great leader in that wide receiver room and can really run.
Steady presence. Sets up 1st down from the 35. Fake it to Lamar. That was dangerous, but goes back to Bryant with a sure-handed catch at the 40.
And it's so quick to throw that football because Dennis Sutton was bearing down. Sutton is in the backfield, but the ball comes out quick.
Man.
And he slips it inside of Tracy for the short completion.
I mean, that was a huge grab by Bryant just to keep it away from Zion Tracy and set up 2nd down and 6. Moore now 23 of 30 on the night. And this one a little bit short. Corian Moore, the intended target, 3rd down.
Nice spin move inside by Dennis Sutton, but a pretty good pocket. Now, Dante Moore kind of forced that ball. That was the first one that he kind of forced.
And there's a flag down. The late flag came in. Harkey and Dennis Sutton got into it after the play, and Oregon's moving backwards.
Well, Dennis Sutton hit Harkey in the face.
Conduct. Offense number 71. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's always the 2nd guy who gets caught. Dennis Sutton's going to hit Harkey in the face at the end of the play. Watch, as he gets up, it's a good job by Harkey blocking. Now Dennis Sutton's going to smack him, and then he's going to trip him. And it's always the 2nd guy who gets caught.
Wow. You can feel the pom-poms creating the wind. 3rd and 21.
Look at this prevent defense. Look at all these guys deep. Just everything in front for Jim Knowles' defense on this play.
Bryant slips through across the 30, but not further. Look who makes the tackle. Deny Dennis Sutton. 4th down.
Well, it's been an effective play for Oregon tonight, but not when it's 3rd and 21. Big stop by the Penn State defense, thanks in part to the 15-yard penalty.
5 is number 91.
Ferguson Reynolds will punt it away. Devontae Ross, who just caught the touchdown for Penn State, back deep for the Nittany Lions. They're coming after it, and he shanked it. Let's see where this goes out of bounds. Crowd starting to make an impact now in the 4th quarter. And this Penn State drive will start from the 33-yard line. Drew Aller down a score.
Well, Drew Aller back on the field now after his best drive of the ball game. He was 3 of 3. Started off with this throw to his tight end Reynolds. Changed the arm slot. Slipped it out here to Pena. And then the touchdown throw to Devontae Ross. Just a beautiful strike. Looked calm, looked comfortable, was accurate with the football. 56 yards on 3 completions. He only had 62 yards before that. Let's see if he can do it again.
And they move the spot up to the 38. That's where this drive's going to start. Nice one behind Reynolds. Trying to go with that similar sidearm sling, but incomplete.
Yeah, just bad ball placement again. The tight end going down the seam. Ball's got to be in front. Brings up 2nd and 10.
7:03 to play. There were 13 combined points in the first 3 quarters. Already 14 in this 4th quarter, about a little past the midway point.
One of the best games Drew Aller played last year was out in the Coliseum against USC in the 4th quarter when he brought his team back. Couple 4th down conversions. He has that same opportunity right now in this ball game.
Singleton wrapped up. Tuioti, Amari Washington both in the area, and it's 3rd and long.
Can't say enough about this front 7 in the run defense of Oregon tonight. Last year 297 yards. Tonight only 67 yards rushing for the Nittany Lions. Amari Washington with a big play there.
You know, we're trying to see the injured player for Oregon. It looked like it might have been Tuioti who was late to get back up. They are checking on him on the field. We'll step aside. 3rd and 9 upcoming. 7-point game.
Back on my favorite.
Aller steps up and runs. Aller on the ground has a 1st down.
Well, design quarterback draw. Nick Singleton, the lead blocker on that play, gets out in front, kind of catches the Oregon defense off guard. And a big play on 1st down, and back in Oregon territory now, and tempo for Penn State.
From the 41, Aller fade away, sideline. It was towards that out-of-bounds area for Hudson, and it's incomplete. Theron Johnson back in coverage. Big pickup for Aller, and let's see how close this one was for Hudson. Awfully close. He's down right before the ball gets to him. Incomplete. And it hit the ground after the fact anyway. Well, how about the poise from Drew Aller?
Yeah.
Really struggled the first 3 quarters. Has stayed the course. In this 4th quarter, he has looked like a different player, different leader, different quarterback. Now up to 118 yards and a touchdown. Reynolds the motion man. It's 2nd and 10. Aller pumps. Aller steps up. Aller gets away and then gets blasted from behind. Blake Purchase with the tackle. Aller with another solid gain of 8 yards on the ground.
Yeah, it looked like Uyunglele was going to get him, and Drew Aller gets away from him and makes it a positive game, brings up 3rd and short.
Let's see here as they slow.
Did Penn State call timeout?
I didn't see a timeout called. Now both teams kind of hovering around where the ball is going to be. There's been no timeout signaled yet. Let's hear what Ron Snodgrass has to say.
Please reset the game clock to 6 minutes, 9 seconds. We'll start on my signal. 6:09 on my signal.
So essentially a mini timeout. Came out of nowhere. And again, slows down this tempo from Penn State ahead of a 3rd and 2. Aller now up to 37 rushing yards to go with 118 in the air, and the touchdown to Ross.
Penn State 5 of 12 on 3rd downs, 1 of 1 on 4th down.
Singleton trying to wiggle free, and it looks like he's short. Got to imagine James Franklin will stay aggressive here after the tackle from Betcher. 4th and half a yard. Good news is Tuioti's back out there for Oregon. Penn State's 1 for 1 on 4th down tonight.
Extra offensive lineman coming in for Penn State. That's Cooper Cousins, number 50. A couple tight ends. Got their big body group in right now. Looks like 3 tight ends and 6 offensive linemen and a quick count.
They snap quick. Handoff. Singleton. Wow. The push looks like it might have gotten it. Uiagalelei got initial pressure, and based on that first spot, that's a first down.
It's the push from Reynolds from behind that they got it. That's why they got it. It looked stopped initially, but watch the push from behind by 85. And that's all it took to get the first down.
It's the old school tush push. And Singleton, you see Tosh Lapoy, Dan Lanning, both thought they had it. Instead, this drive continues from the 30. Fake it to Allen. Aller, eyes downfield. Now he's going to have to escape. And Aller picks up 3.
I love just what I'm seeing out of Drew Aller as a competitor right now. It hasn't been his best game. He's started to throw better now and heat up. He's making good decisions to run. But he is competing his rear end out right now here in the 4th quarter of this football game.
All the questions leading into this one. How will Drew Aller handle a big game? How will James Franklin handle a big game? We've got a 1-score game with Aller split out wide. And a whistle and a flag. Funky formation.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where sometimes maybe I don't know. Is it a little too cute?
Ball start. Offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the center, Dawkins.
I have a 3-year starting quarterback. I kind of want to keep him under center with 4 minutes left in the game. Well, the center didn't snap.
Yeah, everybody but the center.
Everybody moved.
Yeah.
It's Nick Dawkins' fault because he didn't snap it.
That's my favorite call. We didn't even get it. 2nd down and 12. Katron Allen. Good run. Pick up that penalty yardage back as Bear Alexander adds another tackle. So 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and call it 7-ish for Penn State here from the 32-yard line. It all feels like 4-down territory at this point. You've got 3.5 minutes remaining. You're down by 7. You can take the chance, but giving the ball back to Oregon and giving them control of this game just feels like, with the way the 4th quarter has gone, is not in the best interest of the Nittany Lions.
The guy I think he's going to try to give a look is right here, Luke Reynolds, the tight end.
Puts the other tight end in motion, pitches it, Singleton, Dinkins got a block, Singleton lowers the shoulder, he's 2 yards shy.
They tried to go with the quick toss on a quick count. They got both tight ends out in front of the play, but really nice job flowing to the football, and that's the true freshman corner, Brandon Finney, number 4, with the big tackle.
So you're going to go here on 4th and 1. You'll get it off before the 2-minute timeout. So at minimum, you've got 4 stoppages remaining unless they take one of the timeouts here.
Charge timeout, Penn State.
So you lose one of your chances to stop the clock should you not get this. You still have the 3 stoppages with a 2-minute timeout. It just potentially limits you slightly in the possibility that you don't pick up this first down. So here we are, 4th and 1. Penn State's 2 for 2 on 4th down today. Oregon, Dan Lanning, you know how it goes on 4th down. They're 4 for 5. A huge play. The Nittany Lions have picked up the offense at a huge clip in this 4th quarter after they had nothing working through the first 3. And Drew Aller has shown a lot of toughness, a lot of poise as a 3rd-year starter. This is the moment when you talk about can they win the big game. Drew Aller talked about it, making a couple more plays, limiting a few more mistakes. Here's a perfect example.
Remember, they're 2 for 2 on 4th down. The last time barely got it with the push from Reynolds. Penn State does not go with their quarterback under center very often. They're typically in the shotgun, which takes you off the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they go under center on this 4th down and short play. Nope, Drew in the shotgun.
Singleton's the back, 6'2", 24. 4th and 1. Aller's going to keep it. Aller's going to get it. First down, Penn State.
Well, Betcher is going to read this now. Watch Betcher come across, and he knows that Drew Aller is going to keep the football. But Drew Aller is 6'5". He's 235 pounds, and he uses that big frame to get the first down.
33 rush yards this drive for Drew Aller. Let's see if they run one more before the 2-minute timeout.
You got Singleton and Allen in the game together. Allen now out as a wide receiver, coming back in motion.
Aller, swing it. Katron Allen jukes on one, and Katron is down to the 15. Keep the pile pushing. They have not whistled this dead. Katron Allen, the extra effort, and it's going to get him close to the first down mark. Officially 9 yards on the gain. 1:47 to play. The 2-minute timeout. Penn State threatening down a score. Time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Discover. Boise State, number 22 Notre Dame, Saturday 3 Eastern, NBC and Peacock, and Minnesota and number 1 Ohio State, Big Ten Saturday night, 7:30. It's a 2nd down and 3. Officially, they ruled Singleton, or rather Allen, down at the 12-yard line. So Aller and company will work. 1:47 to play, 2 timeouts, 2nd and 3.
And really, in the last 3 or 4 minutes, the best this Penn State running game has looked all night against this Oregon front 7. The offensive line with some push. And a 2nd and 3 situation right now.
Momentum fully on the Nittany Lions side. They need a touchdown. Allen wrapped up, kept the legs moving, and it's going to depend on the spot. He dragged Thieneman an extra 2 yards.
A really nice job by the tight end. Rapouillet, number 87, the 3rd tight end, kind of crashing down that left side. Katron Allen getting close to that first down.
14th play of this drive. Nearly 6 minutes off the clock. It's a 3rd and inches.
Unbalanced look now with this offensive line of Penn State. Unbalanced to the right side.
Allen shakes free for the 1st and goal.
You have extra offensive linemen on this side, plus 2 tight ends, and Allen's just going to cut it back. He's going to start to the right and then cut it back behind the block of the center, Dawkins. And 1st and goal now for the Nittany Lions.
Under 50 to play.
2 timeouts.
Shovel pass. It's Ross. It's a touchdown. Barker to tie the game. We're all even.
A beautiful call by Andy Kotelnicki here. A little bit of a trick play. Watch, they're going to take Singleton, bring him in motion and fake the toss. And that's going to hold Betcher just enough as they slip the ball back to Ross. He's got a lead block by Dinkins. But that fake of the toss holds the middle linebacker just enough that he can't get there to stop Ross on his way to the end zone. Well-designed play, perfect time to call it, and Penn State uses it to tie this football game. Both touchdowns by Devontae Ross. One of those transfer receivers, he came from Troy. He was hurt early in camp, had a limited role in the offense. He's had a major role for the Nittany Lions tonight.
James Franklin's team has come back from a 14-point deficit in this fourth quarter. 14 unanswered points, courtesy of Devontae Ross. A pair of scores. And now you shift back to Oregon with 30 seconds remaining. Dante Moore has 2 timeouts to work with. Remember the Sappington missed field goal from 47 yards in the first half, proving to be massive down the stretch in this game. And this Whiteout, as expected, has delivered. Wosu boots, high arcing, fair catch called for, and made by Whittington. 30 seconds, 2 timeouts, got to go the length of the field. DeCorian Moore going nowhere. Oregon won't take the timeout. They'll try to get that first down. Moore, loss, incomplete, looking for Sadiq.
Yeah, if they would have converted that, then I think they would have tried to use another play to get back into field goal range. The problem, Sadiq got hurt at the end of this play. One of their key players can't come down with the catch. It looked like he tweaked an ankle a little bit at the end of that play. I think you got to play for overtime here right now. Although Penn State will use one of those timeouts if Oregon doesn't convert.
Lamar swallowed up.
Well, James Franklin will use a timeout and at least try to go after the punter.
The 2 big boys, Dennis Sutton and Zane Durant, combine on the stop. So 4 seconds remaining. Oregon's operation is going to have to be perfect. And they're going to battle not just the punt team for Penn State, but this whiteout crowd as well.
Well, the special teams coach for Penn State, Justin Lustig. Special teams coach for Oregon, Joe Loring, used to coach with James Franklin. They were together at Idaho State. Good friends, have coached together. This is a huge play right here.
And now the question is, do they keep the offense out there, try to see if Moore can maybe run around for a couple seconds and then just air the football out?
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do here. Don't even take a chance of punting the football or snapping the football. You got to kill 4 seconds.
Two seconds left. 1 second. And Moore perfectly will just throw it out of bounds. And we will head to overtime in the whiteout. 17 apiece. Penn State erases a 14-point deficit. And we've got bonus football in State College. We'll be back for overtime after these messages. So much praise deserved for the way that Drew Aller played this game in the fourth quarter. Offense was stuck in mud this entire game, and Aller came alive, led his team down the field for 2 touchdown drives to tie the game and send it to OT. James Franklin 4-4 in overtime as a head coach, and this would be the biggest of those wins to get his 5th Dante Moore has played a really stellar game. 25 of 35, 206 and a touchdown. And Dan Lanning, his first ever overtime game as a head coach, is a top 6 matchup at the Penn State wideout.
Penn State 69 yards of offense in the first half, 182 in the second half. Fought their way back into this ball game. We asked who would step up and make a play, who would help out Drew Aller. Well, Devontae Ross has been that guy here in the second half. One by a run and one by a pass reception.
The overtime rules, we saw this with Virginia and Florida State yesterday. Coin toss for the choice of possession. Each team will get a possession from the 25. No game clock. It's all about scoring. And then with the second OT, you've got to go for 2.
At the 25-yard line, unless we have a defensive score. For the overtime period, you have 1 timeout per team per overtime period. For the coin toss, Oregon, you'll call the toss. The winner of the toss chooses offense, defense, or the end of the field, which we're going to play on. There is no deferring. This is the head. This is the tail. The Big Ten logo is the tail. Oregon, what's your call? He's called heads. We'll let it hit the ground. It is a head. You want a defense. Oregon's won the toss and chosen to go on defense, which into the field. It'll be Penn State, 1st and 10 at the south goal.
Well, Ron Snodgrass realizes the younger quarterback hasn't necessarily been in those situations a ton, but Oregon wins the toss, and Penn State will have the football first.
Well, you want to choose to go on defense, so you know what you have to do. Do you need a touchdown? Do you need a field goal? Do you need a touchdown and an extra point? Both defenses have played well. There has not been a turnover in the ball game. You know, last year when these teams met, it was really, the story was 2 turnovers, 2 takeaways by the Oregon defense that were the difference in the ball game. No turnovers in the game tonight. 6 total penalties. It's been a pretty clean game, just not a lot of points.
Katron Allen off the edge, and he will plow forward to the 20-yard line. Bryce Betcher, as always, flying around the field. So Allen now continues to add to his total. He's up to 50 yards rushing. That one counts as a pass for 5 yards, and it's 2nd and 5. Dan Lanning thought after that second touchdown from his Oregon offense, this game was basically curtains. Drew Aller had different ideas. Now can he lead the team to a comeback victory in OT? Pena, good blocking from Dinkins. Pena stays on his feet for a 1st and goal. Trevor Pena comes up big in the biggest moments.
Well, they've run this with the quarterback enough. Watch, they're going to tackle Drew Aller because he's kept the ball on this. But this time he gave it to Pena, got a good block by Dinkins, and they're inside the 5-yard line. When they've run this play before, they've just faked it to Pena, and Drew Aller has kept the ball. This time, the right decision was to give it to the wide receiver.
On 1st and goal. Allen, touchdown! Katron from 4 yards out, and Penn State has the lead.
Well, they're going to crash down this way, and then watch Ioane, the big guard, the most athletic, powerful guard, get out there and kind of lead the way into the end zone for Katron Allen. Block down, pull the backside guard, and then the power running by Katron Allen for the touchdown.
Barker the extra point. And he knocks it through.
What a fourth quarter and overtime for Penn State. A dormant offense has come alive.
James Franklin is 4-20 against top 10 teams. His defense can give him his 5th win. Starts from the 25. De'Aaron Hill blocking from Davison. Hill escapes the first, not the second.
Keep an eye on Dennis Sutton on this play. He's been held a few times. It hasn't been called. See if he can get to the quarterback on this play.
2nd and 7. Fake to the outside. Dante Moore to Bryant for the first down. Again, an impressive throw on the run.
This is an interesting play. They faked the screen to the left. Watch Sutton. He's going to read it and go out. They fake the screen. They come back the other way. And they get the first down. Again, poised under pressure by Dante Moore.
Sadiq is back out there after being shaken up at the end of regulation. Lamar lost the ball, and Moore was there to hop on it. Almost catastrophe for the Ducks.
Yeah, it almost looked like Lamar thought it wasn't going to be a handoff because he closed his pocket. You're supposed to leave that arm up if you're getting the football. And Oregon very lucky that they came down with it. It's almost like he thought Dante Moore was going to fake, but a miscommunication wastes the play on first down.
Makes it 2nd and 13. Design run. Dante Moore following a blocker. He gets leveled. Big hit coming in from King Mack.
Yeah, King Mack finishes him off, but Alonzo Ford, number 50, is going to get him around the legs. And King Mack gets him high. And 3rd and a long 8 yards here for Oregon.
Need to get to the 4 for a first down. Moore looks, fires, caught. Lamar is short. It'll be 4th and 1 for the game.
Oregon's going to use that one timeout that they have.
Further review for potential targeting.
Yeah, you could see Dan Lanning pointing at his head, thinking that there should have been targeting. It's on Amari Campbell, number 24. Did he lead with the crown of his helmet on this play?
Terry McCauley, do you see anything here as Campbell went down with the head?
First of all, he's established himself as ball carrier, so he's not defenseless. This would have to be a crown at the helmet. What we see him contacting with appears to be the hairline, not the top of the helmet, not the crown, the 6-inch radius from the apex. It looks like the hairline. Shouldn't be a targeting foul.
So this is obviously a huge call, and a huge critical moment in overtime would be 4th and 1 if targeting is not added. If it is, creates a first down, and Campbell's lost, who's the green dot
After
for this Penn State defense.
There is no foul for targeting. It's 4th down.
So Terry's all over it. 4th and 1. Penn State with a chance to win the game defensively here.
Well, your operation never more important than this play. You can't afford a false start and knock yourself back 5 yards. You got to be clean at the line of scrimmage to give yourself a chance here on 4th and 1.
Moore, design run up the middle. He's got it. 1st and goal.
Now, nice double team, and then the left tackle, Isaiah Word. Here's the double team. Watch World get to the 2nd level, and then the freshman Davidson leading the way. Good execution on 4th and short, and Dante Moore picks it up easily. Right now they've got an extra lineman. Janoris Wilson is a backup tackle. He's wearing number 35, but he's really an offensive lineman, lined up right here as a tight end.
Moore, shovel pass, and continuing in for the touchdown, Jamari Johnson. Heck of an effort from the tight end for the score.
Boy, this play almost was disaster because, first of all, Dante Moore bobbles the snap, almost doesn't get the pitch. The right guard, Dave Iuli, he's going to get knocked back and almost causes a collision. But somehow Oregon gets the football and gets the touchdown. Now the extra point.
Operation has to be clean. Basso the snapper, Ferguson Reynolds the holder, Atticus Sappington to send us to double OT. And he does.
Take a look at this again. Now, if it falls to the ground, it's an incomplete pass. But the guard is going to get knocked back and almost causes the ball to hit the ground. Watch the bobble right here. And then the shovel pass. He's hit by his own man, but somehow has the wherewithal to spin move and then get the ball into the end zone. Nice job by Jamari Johnson, just concentrating on the football and then fighting for the touchdown.
Penn State will be on defense to start the 2nd overtime period.
So now you get a touchdown. You've got to go for 2 in this 2nd overtime, and Oregon will have the football first. So Penn State will be in that advantageous position of knowing exactly what they're going to do.
But the good thing for Oregon, if there is, even though you're going on offense first, you're going away from the student section. You're going to the other end of the field now. It's still packed, and it's still all white, but it's not as loud as the other end.
Dan Lanning was just so looking forward to playing in this environment. He said he's played in some big-time ones, coached obviously in some really big-time ones over the course of his career in the SEC and already Pac-12 into the Big Ten. But this one really excited him. Yeah. You got to believe he's loving every second of this. Yeah. Look at him.
Well, this is where you find out about your team, right? I mean, both coaches are finding out what kind of character and mettle their teams have. And as we talked about, this is not a season-defining game for either team, but it's a chance to make a huge statement for both teams. And they have fought and clawed here. And I should make a correction, too. When they reviewed that play for targeting, it didn't cost a timeout. It looked like Oregon was calling a timeout. They didn't get charged a timeout, so both teams still have their one timeout that they're allotted here in overtime.
Oregon with a football. Dante Moore, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Decorian Moore has been pretty quiet here in the 2nd half.
He's got 7 catches, 89 yards on the day. Dennis Sutton, a free runner. Moore on the run, wide open. Gary Bryant, touchdown. One play is all they need to take the lead.
What a poised play by Dante Moore. Watch him. He's going to know that Sutton is coming. and he's unblocked, and he steps underneath him on the bootleg and then slings it to the crossing Gary Bryant. I mean, this is just Dante Moore not being fazed by the best edge rusher on this Penn State team. And now they got to go for two. This is a battle of Will Stein and Andy Kotelnicki on their two-point plays.
Moore through his progression, intercepted, denied Dennis Sutton. Looking to return it for Penn State, and he's tracked down from behind by Sadiq. Ball comes out, scooped up by Campbell, and finally he goes down. So Penn State can win it with a touchdown and a two-point conversion.
Trying to get to the back of the end zone, but he doesn't throw it high enough. Because he kind of threw it sidearm, the ball didn't get high enough. And Dennis Sutton able to come up with the interception. He was trying to go to Sadiq in the back of the end zone, but he didn't throw the ball high enough. And Jim Knowles with a little wrinkle on the defense. Instead of rushing his best pass rusher, he dropped him into coverage, and that 6'5" body got the pick.
So tried to get 2 points on the board for Penn State on a return. Instead, we're going to have to score and convert on the two-point conversion. Take it to Pena. Aller, sideline. Oh, it's picked! Dylan Thieneman calls game. That's a walk-off, whiteout winner for the Ducks. The transfer from Purdue ends it, and KT is with the winning coach.
I am with the winning coach, and he is on fire right now. Coach, just describe the emotions of battling through this game in double overtime and that ultimate victory for your group.
Unbelievable job, man, of our guys keeping their composure. We said this game's going to be about 1,000 cuts, right? Every cut matters. Every cut matters. And eventually hit the jugular. That was it right there. Unbelievable focus. Our quarterback is an absolute all-star. Our team, man, special, man, special.
You described this group to us during the week as having an elite level of focus. How did that play into the victory tonight?
Dude, never lost their composure 1 second. Highs and lows in this game. That's a great football team, right? Through some punches, we punch more, right? And hit a haymaker at the end.
What kind of statement does this victory make for your program?
Hey, we're on to the next game. We got to keep improving, keep growing. We're going to see some great teams in this league. It's an unbelievable league. What an unbelievable atmosphere. Got a ton of respect for Coach Franklin, the job they do. Man, let me think about it for a second.
Well, Coach, that flight home is going to feel pretty good tonight. You get a bye week to enjoy it and then on to Indiana, so good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can see how much it means to this guy. Every time he goes out and coaches, every time he's in the locker room, any video you see, his emotions are on his sleeve, and his team follows suit.
Absolutely, they followed suit. Starting with that guy, played an incredible game. Total poise, under control, and this team wanted to come in here and compete. They weren't going to back down from the environment. Take a look at this last play now. Dylan Thieneman, who was beat by the touchdown pass, here he is right here. Penn State is going to try to get Luke Reynolds up the sideline, and Drew Aller is just going to kind of underthrow. He's going to try to make the perfect throw. He doesn't throw it far enough, and Thieneman slips right underneath it and gets the interception. He got beat earlier in the game. This time, slips right underneath the intended target, and Oregon walks off with the win. It was 2 takeaways in the Big Ten championship that were the difference in the game. The only turnover of the game tonight was the difference in double overtime.
The interception Aller threw to Nico Reed sealed the deal in the Big Ten title game. And now Dante Moore's Oregon Ducks get another victory. And for James Franklin and Drew Aller, oh so close to that elusive top 10 victory that they've been searching for continuously. They're going to have to keep looking, and will have their opportunity later in the season. Dan Lanning, emotion, respect between the coaches, but it is the transfer, and there's Lanning looking up at that small section at the whiteout of green in the top left corner of Beaver Stadium. Tosh Lapoy, those two have been together for years, going back to Alabama. And Dan with his family in the building.
Wow.
Has completely rejuvenated Oregon to a national powerhouse. Tremendous game as expected between these two. A 30-24 victory for Oregon. Come up next, except on the West Coast, your local news. Tomorrow night, Micah Parsons and the Packers take on the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Next Saturday, Boise State and Notre Dame at 3:30, NBC and Peacock. Then Minnesota takes on #1 Ohio State at 7:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. For Catherine Tappan, for Todd Blackledge, Terry McCauley, our producer Matt Marvin, our director Charlie Danmeyer, our entire NBC Sports crew, no Eagle saying so long from State College.